Hey everybody, Mr. Wagner here. We're on pound 12 and I'm gonna run this because that way we see what we had from pong 11. So we run, we got the ball bouncing around, looks like it's bouncing against the paddles and it's also bouncing around, but no score or anything like that. So we're gonna see what we can do about score today. Let me go ahead and close this. And in post-production on one of the videos, I said that there was a problem with the left paddle, and I want to talk about that real quick. Line number 93, we have ball X, which is the center of the ball, minus the ball half, which would be that left side of the ball, is less than the left paddle X, which happens to be the left side of the left paddle, plus the width of the left paddle divided by 2. Well, actually that would put us at that center of that left paddle. So we don't need that divided by 2. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that, and that makes our videos all good. So let's run that. We get a run. And if you watch it when it hits, well, when it hits that green paddle, I'm not sure if it'll ever hit the green paddle. Okay, let's see when it hits the green paddle. Yeah, it hits that right side of the green paddle. So we're all good there. Okay. So, so let's see if we can get text popping up on the screen. Okay, and that's not terribly hard, except Pygame is a little bit tricky because you're basically writing text onto a graphic screen. So in a sense, we have to come up with a graphic image to put on that screen. Now, first thing we're going to do is we are going to create ourselves a font. And let's see where I want to put this font. I'm gonna put this, we sort of have all this Pygame stuff here. So let's put the font here. And we are gonna call this my font. And a font is basically, you know, an alphabet, the way that you write letters. So we're gonna say my font is equal to Pygame dot font dot sys font, and none, and 100. 100 being a nice big size font because we want these screens to pop up. So we're gonna need that font there, okay? And now let's see what we can do about writing a text to the font. So after we've created this font, we're gonna go down here where we're drawing all of our stuff. Like, so here's where we draw the net and you know, the ball and the paddles, etc. So I'm gonna go after we've drawn the paddle and we're gonna draw our text right here. So let's start out by, we'll say text image, IMG, is equal to my font dot render. So that means basically we're going to be drawing, okay, dot render, and then I'm going to put quote 00 quote comma true comma blue comma white. Okay. Now, if we look at this, the 00 is what we're going to be drawing. The true basically means we are going to be drawing anti-aliasing, okay, which is a computer term. The blue is the text color and the white is the background of the text color. And now, all we really need to do is screen.blit. Okay, blit basically means I want to put that image onto the screen. So we're going to say screen.blit text image and then comma, and then we need a nice tuple here where we're going to say 430 comma 10. Okay, and we're going to have 2 parentheses there. Okay, so screen blit text image 43010. Okay. Now, so I figured out where this 430 is, and that's kind of on the right side of that net. So we're going to need to do the same thing for the left side of the net for the other paddle. So I'm going to hit Command C to copy and Command V because we don't need to be typing all that stuff a second time. And text image equals my font dot render 00 true. Since we're dealing with the green paddle, let's make its text green, and we'll continue the background being white. Screen.blit text image, and then we're going to make this one 290. Okay, so let's take a run at this. Run module, and look at that. So we have some nice text there, and you know, hopefully what we can do is we can change that text in the next video and be able to keep score. So we have this going, and you're probably like, well, gee, Mr. Wagner, how do you know what these complex commands are? Text image equals my font.render, you know, and all of that stuff. And how do I figure this stuff out? Because ultimately, you know, you're going to have to be able to figure this stuff out too. Okay. And, you know, the answer to that is, you know, I Google stuff just like everybody else. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how I Google things, what I'm looking for when I'm trying to find answers for programming. Okay, so what I would do is I would click on Google Chrome, and I would type in something like this. We click on Google Chrome, and I would type in Pygame text on screen. Okay, something like that. And what I tend to look for is this website called Stack Overflow. Okay, and I don't know if you've ever run into Stack Overflow, but Stack Overflow is kind of like a question and answer thing for us programmers. So somebody said how to display text in Pygame, and I'm going to click on this, and it says I can't figure out how to display text in Pygame. I know I can't use print like regular Python, but I don't know how. So he's got some code in here and he's having trouble. And then somewhere down here below says, okay, well, there's 4 answers. And notice how these answers are either upvoted or downvoted. So, you know, your top answer is usually about what you want to do. Okay. So if you look at it, it has something like my_font equals pygame.font.sysfont, and then they have this stuff, and that's actually very close to the code that I have. So what I probably did was copy something like that and then start playing around with it. And then I get this text surface, okay, is my font.render, some text false, and then a place to put it. And actually that's the color, the 000 is a color. And then here, ScreenBlit puts that on there. So basically, you know, 1, 2, 3 commands to get text on the screen, okay? So I would kind of look at that and I go, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to read some of these other messages. So I'd come down here and I would read some more. And look, I got better code that maybe I can copy. And then down here, oh, look here, this guy actually created a function that does text to screen. And we're going to have functions in the next, you know, in the breakout game. And on down, here's some more stuff. So screen font is this, text surface is this, ScreenBlit. Okay. So bottom line is I look for that and then I try to figure out from there what it is that I need to do. Now, the other thing that I tend to look for is I tend to look for the actual game, the actual documentation for Pygame. So I'll look for pygame.org, pygame.org. Not really seeing it, so I'm going to type in here pygame.org. And here's actually the documentation for, for the font and for drawing and stuff like that. So I would look through this to see exactly what it is I need to make it call for it, okay? Now, the other thing that I want you to know is there are like thousands of options for what we're doing here, okay? And what I did is I tried to pare that down to the bare minimum, especially for Pong, okay? So as we continue our quest to learn these video games better and better, I'm gonna be throwing more and more stuff out there for you. But just so you know, I kept it as simple as possible, okay? So let's see here, is that about all that I have for pong12? I do believe it is. I hope you hang on because we're gonna go right to pong13 now, and see you everybody.